We have studied something about the properties of light and what is light, etc. in our previous class, that is somewhere in 8th class in your lower classes. And coming to here, the syllabus for 10th class is going to be a chapter called reflection and refraction. So we had a concentration on only reflection to certain extent in case of 8th class, your lower classes. And coming to here, this will be along with the refraction. That means two different concepts we are going to learn here. First of all, what is light? So we have already seen the definition of light. So light is a form of energy. When falls on the matter, then it gives a sense of perception to the eye, sense of vision to the eye. So it's a form of energy, we said. So whenever the light is falling on the matter will get heated up because light is an energy source, and also the pressures will vary. And one more thing is, light can travel even through the vacuum. That means it does not require any medium to travel. From sun to the earth, light is traveling to certain extent in vacuum and to certain extent in the atmosphere. That means it traverses in the form of electromagnetic radiation, we call. So that is what about the light. Now, whenever a light ray emerging out of an object, so the object here is going to be the luminous body. So this is also the definition we have seen, luminous and non-luminous bodies. Luminous bodies are those which produce the light energy. So they are bright and full of hot gases and all, we said. So luminous bodies produce the light and non-luminous bodies cannot produce. In fact, non-luminous bodies can be seen with the help of a luminous body light. So here the light emerges out of the luminous bodies. Luminous bodies are those which produce the light. So it is of a lot of fuel. That fuel is due to the nuclear fusion process, we say, and from that the light is produced out of the luminous bodies, and it is self-luminous in fact. So whenever the light coming out of the luminous body falls on the matter, a non-luminous body, I can perceive that information. So I can have the sense of vision. Non-luminous bodies means, as an examples, we have seen earth, we have seen human body, all these things are non-luminous bodies. So luminous bodies are stars, of course sun, it is quite familiar to us. Now whenever the light is emerging out of a body, when falls on certain kind of instruments. So as an example, we have seen the plane mirror in the earlier discussions. A plane mirror. A plane mirror is one whose one surface is polished, the other surface is open. Now we look at the case of a plane mirror. Plane mirror is one whose one surface is polished, the other surface is open. It's a glass piece in fact. So whenever a light falls, so generally the incident ray, this light is emerging out of some luminous body, some energy source, and it is falling with an angle I with reference to the normal. So always the measurements are taken with reference to the normals. Then it will be falling onto the surface and will get reflected. So we have seen the formula associated with the incidence angle and angle of refraction. So here the law says incidence angle is equal to reflection angle. This is the first law. And one more thing is incident ray, normal and reflected ray. I, N, R lie on the same plane. For all the fundamental things we have already gone through. So this is one more point to remember. And you can also think of various other laws related to the reflection of plane mirrors. Here, whenever you are considering the plane mirror, you can assume a point from which a perpendicular line is drawn. So from the point on the surface where you are drawing the perpendicular line is the pole in fact. So here, whenever an object is placed over here, its image is seen over here. Then in case of the plane mirror, the magnification is going to be 1. So here you can see it is laterally inverted. and magnification is going to be 1. That means size is not going to change, but only the thing is laterally inverted. And one more point you need to remember, if at all you have a plane mirror, and this is the normal, and whenever a ray is falling over here and gets reflected back, so this is I, this is R. Unlike that, if at all the mirror is making an angle theta, so the mirror is rotated with an angle theta, let us suppose. In this case, what happens? If it is rotated by theta, then the image or reflected ray will be rotated by theta. So, because the normal will be here and angle will be measured from here to here. So, if the mirror is rotated by theta, the reflected ray is rotated by 2 theta. So, that is one more formula you need to remember here. And magnifications are always measured with reference to magnification is given by minus of image distance by object distance. So here you need to remember, whenever you are measuring the distances along the direction of incident ray, you are taking positive, and opposite to the direction of incident ray you are taking as negative. So here in case of the plane mirror, the distance you are measuring in this way. So this is from the pole you are measuring the distance to here, from the pole you are measuring the distance to here. So this negative sign will get positive and magnification becomes 1 in case of the plane mirror. That means size is not going to change. So these are the few things you are to remember in case of the reflection loss. And here one more point is, the reflection can be either regular reflection or diffused reflection, as you have seen in the previous videos. So if at all the surface is smooth and flat, then you will get a regular reflection. Otherwise it is irregular reflection. That is what we call as the diffused reflection. So this is how the plane mirrors can be studied. And one more point you need to remember here, the focal length of the plane mirror. Focal length of the plane mirror. Focal length means we have to define what is focal length. But for time being, you remember focal length for plane mirror is going to be infinite. That means it will never get converged. So the point where all the reflected rays will get converged is called as the focal length. But here they will never converge. That is the reason for a plane mirror you can take the focal length as infinity. And in our next videos we are going to look at what does it mean by focal length and all the terms associated with these mirrors. And moreover, we have also seen, if at all the mirrors are inclined with some angles, as an example we have seen here, the mirrors are parallel to each other, then number of images can be given by 360 by theta. So here theta is going to be 0. That means number of images going to be infinite in this case. If at all it is a symmetric one. If at all they are inclined with some angle, so mirrors are inclined with some angle, then the number of images are going to be, if this is theta and object is placed symmetrically here between the two mirrors, then number of images going to be 360 by theta if odd. N is going to be odd. N is equal to 360 by theta minus 1 if n is coming out to be even. If n value comes as even, then you have to subtract 1. If n value is odd, then use the same formula. So this is how you can calculate number of images formed by the mirrors.